now we're going to the origins of it, where it got its bloody start and the violence that happened pretty much from the start. So it's nice because it kind of fits in with where we are with the narrative of the history. So basically, recap, the Mormons come to Utah to try to escape the U.S. government so they can practice their religion how they want to, and almost immediately there's problems. The U.S. government gets pretty much all of the U.S. Southwest from Mexico over a war, and so they're like, what? We're back in the U.S. government's hands? But no, there's still not a lot of jurisdiction there. So the Mormons are in Utah. They're facing a desert that they have to go cultivate if they're going to survive. And they get to work. Mormons have always done that. They always were building up communities, and they were pretty good at making them thrive pretty quickly. And they all were hard workers. So they start doing that in Utah. Starting in 1847, and things are going pretty well for them at the start, and they are starting to prosper and like farm, and things are going decently for them. And then in 1852, Brigham Young feels comfortable enough to like finally announce polygamy for real. And
wow, it took all that time.
Yes, yeah. So it's like 7-8 years after Joseph Smith's death. And this whole time they've been secretly practicing it. And it wasn't until they felt like well established in Utah where they weren't by anyone else. And he announced it to the world that actually they are practicing polygamy. And so they released the doctrine, the revelation about it. Then after that, that happens in 1852. They feel secure enough to do that. And then things start to go south for them after that. Because remember, Brigham Young, not only did he start preaching blood atonement, but he also started the priesthood ban for Black people, where Joseph Smith gave the priesthood to African Americans, and Brigham Young put a stop to that. So this was a speech he was giving to the Legislative Assembly, and with African Americans, there's this whole like nasty way of looking at it religiously, like, oh, they have the curse of Cain. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's basically...
That's the same thing with, like, the Native Americans, too.
Yeah.
They're the Lamanites.
Yeah, and their skin was darkened, so you could tell the difference for whatever reason. Like, yeah, it just is, like, racism veiled in spiritual language. So I'm just going to read this. And so he's talking about interracial marriages and what happens, what interracial marriages would do. He says, in the priesthood, I will tell you what it will do. Were the children of God to mingle their seed with the seed of Cain, it would not only bring the curse of being deprived of the power of the priesthood upon themselves, but they entail it upon their children after them, and they cannot get rid of it. So racist.
Wow.
If a man in an unguarded moment should commit such a transgression, if he would walk up and say, cut off my head and kill man, woman, and child, it would do a great deal towards atoning for the sin.
Wow.
The sin being an interracial marriage. He goes on.
That's wild.
I know. Would this be to curse them? No, it would be a blessing to them. It would do them good that they might be saved. A man would shudder should they hear us talk about killing folk, but it is one of the greatest blessings to some to kill them, although the true principles of it are not understood.
What the... I want to swear.
I know, isn't that...
Like, what?
It's so crazy.
That is a very crazy quote.